Welcome everyone to this video where we are going to look at the game between two amazing players, Gukesh and Vidit, at the Super United Rapid tournament that's taking place in Croatia right now. Now, this was the fifth round of the event, and I'll be showing you this game, insane game, and you can also look at it at Chess Ranga here. So there you can solve it in interactive format. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description. Okay, let's go to the game. Now, in the previous round, Gukesh had won his game against the overnight leader MVL, while Vidit had lost 4 games, 3 on the previous day and one more on the same day. So he was clearly under pressure. And Gukesh opens the game with 1 e4. Vidit responds back with e5. The time control is 25 plus 10. Knight to f3, knight c6, and we had g3. I can call this now the Gukesh specialty against e4, e5. He likes this system. It's less theoretical than bishop c4 or bishop b5, the Italian or the Ruy Lopez. g3, knight f6, you go d3. It does look a little bit passive, but it's playable. d6, castles, castles, h3, and now Vidit went a5. This is where Gukesh played the first new move of the game. He went c4 and somehow converting this into English territory with the knight on f3. Slightly weirdly placed because generally you have in such Botvinnik setups, this is known as the Botvinnik triangle. The knight comes to e2. Anyway, h6 by Vidit, knight comes out, knight h7, and now came the move king h2. So Vidit is clearly preparing f5 while king h2. This is a typical setup. Whenever you play this opening, you push your pawn and you put your king on h2. f5 was played. Now takes, bishop takes. The d3 pawn is under pressure. He played bishop e3, and here Vidit went for queen d7. I was expecting perhaps a move like d4 here, but then I realized that there would be kind of mass exchanges, and a very good move here is bishop d4, knight g5, and already this is getting a bit worrisome for white. So that's the reason why Gukesh played the move takes, takes, and now this very tricky move knight h4. And this is now the start of something very interesting that's going to happen, because now the bishop is attacked. You really want to save this bishop because your light squares are weak. So the most natural move is bishop e6, but it doesn't work out because of knight e4, and the pawn is hanging and knight is coming to g6. These are big problems. The other option, of course, is bishop d3, but then bishop d5 check, and I win your bishop. As simple as that. So, logical moves were rook a e8, giving up this bishop, not so easy. And another one was knight d4, creating a complete mess on the board after bishop b7, c6. And black is fine here. Vidit, who was not as confident as usual, played queen d3, a blunder. And this is your first question: what should white play in this position? The right move here is bishop d5 check, and I hope you found it, because now you are forcing the king to go to h8. And now, what is the move that white should play? And very important moment here in the game. So this is a tough one. The right move here is the stunning move queen e1, and this was actually found by Gukesh. And the reason why this move is correct is because you want to move the queen, attack the queen here, which is kind of trapped now, because this bishop cannot move away as there is knight g6 mate. So somehow this queen's paths have been blocked from going back. If you play queen a4, just trying for the same thing with rook d1, it doesn't work, because let's say I go knight g5 and now you attack here. I have queen c2 offering a trade of queens. This is a very important tempo that I win. So queen e1 is a brilliant move. And here Vidit understood that he was in big trouble. You can see the time that Gukesh took for queen e1 was not much. He had already seen it. Vidit now took some serious time, 4 minutes. He's down to 7 minutes. Gukesh has 10 and g5 was played. Rook d1. If, by the way, queen c2, rook d2 traps the queen. So that's the reason why queen f1, gh4, queen e2. Very calm move, nice move. hg, fg, and e4 was played. And here I felt like Gukesh will win. He has 5 minutes 45 seconds. He took on c6 and played queen h5, attacking here. Everything's going very smoothly for him. Rook f6 was forced. g4 pushing. Now if the bishop goes this way, then e4 hangs. Otherwise, bishop went to g6. And now my next question to you, what would you do here? Which pawn would you take? h6 or c5? These both are hanging. Gukesh went wrong here. He took on c5. And this is, while it still keeps the advantage, queen at 6 would have been just killing move. Because now rook d7 is coming. White has really black has very little here. Maybe he was afraid of bishop f7. But just queen coming back. And this king is way weaker. But he took on c5. Knight to g5. h4, check, king g3, rook e8 played. He played queen e3. Maybe the best move here was rook d7, and the point being that if you play e3, I have rook e7. So it's a tricky move here, but you go behind the pawn. But he went queen e3, attacking h6. Bishop dropped back, defending that pawn. And now it was important to play rook f1, but here Gukesh blundered with knight e2. And after a very strong move, knight e5, now rook f3, check is coming in. Gukesh is already in big trouble. Look at his time. He's also down to 16 seconds. At this point, I felt like Vidit will win this game now because check, queen c5, he gave a check. King g2 and knight takes g4. Rook d7, a mistake here, and I think the final error of this game, it was important to give a check, maybe forcing knight f6 and then somehow playing rook g1. It looks very difficult to hold this position, but somehow the engine does hold it and it's a draw. But rook d7 is a mistake because after rook g8, which was a fine move here, check is met with a counter check now. And we reach this position king h2 where Vidit has to find a clean win here. And I think I would like you to pause this video and think how to win as black. So one of the main problems you are facing is this diagonal. And so the right move here was the very nice c5. Because now if you move away from the diagonal, then I have check. King, if the king goes here, then knight f2 check followed by rook h3 mate. And if the king comes to the g file, I have knight e3 check followed by just finishing off the game here, mate. So c5 is a very nice move, but you have to calculate after queen e5 what happens because this maintains the pin. The main point is that now you have the f2 square. So check. If king moves up, bishop f5 wins the game. So king has to move downwards. And here you have to find this move e3. And this prepares bishop e4 check, which is a killer blow. And knight g3 is met with e2, threatening rook f1, e1 queen. So and if you take here, bishop e4 check wins the game. So these were few variations which Vidit had to calculate. Not easy when you have just 2 minutes on the clock. He pushed e3, which is not bad. It's still winning. But now the task considerably is difficult. You have to find the best defense for white now. Try to pause this video and think what is the move that Gukesh has to find to keep the game going. So you know that the threat is now check. If king h3, bishop f5. If king h1, bishop e4. These are the problems. So rook e7 is a key move that was found by Gukesh. If he hadn't found this, he would have lost the game. And here, once again, I think c5 had to be played. This time you cannot play queen e5. We know this because of check, and then bishop e4 comes in. So you have to go back. The main point being that at this point, the e3 pawn is defended. So black can go rook g4 and is winning this game, because brings in another piece. What happened in the game was he first gave a check, king h1, and now played after check c5. And clearly he's right that if queen e3, there is knight g4 wins. But now what has happened is that in many lines, this pawn will become weak. Queen e3. Just say for example here, king h1. And now if you try to come in with rook g4, I have queen e3 move, which does not work. You know, so these little issues, even if you come here with rook g4 trying to make use of this, I still have queen e3. Because earlier the rook was on f3. So this check, which was given by Vidit in a bit of a hurry, you know, check, not hurry actually, it took like 1.5 minutes, was the move that led to the position becoming equal. And then they kept repeating here. I think they repeated like 10 times or something. None of them wanted a draw. The arbiter came and said, "Band karo, bhai, main haath jodta hu." So that is how the game ended, in a draw, but a very, very nice battle between the two. I want to show you a few moments here that were sent to us by our friend Anuradha Beniwal, who's there. This is the final moment there. Then this is the moment where they both were talking to each other after the game, which was nice to see. There was also a small little video clip which was sent here. As you can see, the entire room was empty and they were discussing, which is always nice to see, like intensity over the board, but then becoming friends of it. These are the standings after the second day. Here you can see that Gukesh made a very, very strong comeback on day 2. He won 2 games against MVL and Nepo, and drew against Vidit. So he is on 7 points right now. Wesley is on 8, Caruana on 9, and Vidit is has some recovery, 2 draws after 4 losses. So he's on 2 points. Some pictures by Lennart Utes. Here is Gukesh looking very sharp against MVL. Was in trouble but managed to save himself. This is the Gukesh versus Vidit game. Another picture of Gukesh wearing something, I think Roger Federer shirt here. This is another one with Vidit focused completely. All the people there stand 1 minute of silence for Sigrun, who is mother of Magnus, who passed away at the age of 61. This is a very nice picture of Vidit and Anish. They drew their game. Vidit lost to Wesley, and this is Vidit under quite some pressure there in the tournament. And yeah, these are the standings. And on a parting note, a small trivia for you. Who is this well-known chess player at the tournament? Okay, guys, see you all. I hope you liked the game, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the live show today later.